Whoa! Welcome to the What's Up Ready podcast, where we fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. My name is JJ Crowder. I'm here with my co-host, Alec Burgess.
Let's get it.
We appreciate you tuning in. Go ahead, hit that follow, subscribe, like, bell notification button. Tell a friend about us. Tell your family about us. Tell a love-struck moron about us. A dreamer, hopeless romantic. Tell all those people about us. They may not want to listen to this episode by the time I'm done, but you should still tell them about us. Today, it's week 4. It's our final review of indie movies for the month of September. Yeah.
This was a terrible category. Who picked it?
Fucking this guy, man. And then the other guy, fucking Ray Bill asshole. Jesus. I regret Patreon other than I don't, because it's so much fun to interact in there. But yeah, we're reviewing the movie 500 Days of Summer. It was released August 7th, 2009. It was written by Scott Neustadter and Michael Weber. It was directed by Mark Webb. It stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Zooey Deschanel, Jeffrey Arend, Matthew Gray Gubler, Clark Gregg, Chloe Grace Moretz, Rachel Boston, Minka Kelly, and Ian Reed Kessler. This movie kills me. Okay, after being dumped by the girl he believes to be his soulmate, hopeless romantic Tom Hansen reflects on their relationship to try and figure out where things went wrong and how he can win her back. That's some of these. I guess that works, even though you don't know that. I guess technically that I don't know. I guess technically it works. That synopsis, kind of. 500 Days of Summer. This was my pick. Okay, so I have to tell the story about
Please do.
So Casey loves depressing movies. Like, she likes these sad, realistic, too relatable, like feel like you're watching a movie that you can connect with on levels that I don't like to. Like, I like movies that I'm like, I can see the disconnect from reality, because then I don't internalize shit, right?
Right.
But I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt and I love Zooey Deschanel, and I think that's what allowed me to be okay going to. But Casey's like, and she loves indie movies. She likes this kind of thing, so she was really excited about this movie because Zooey Deschanel is one of her favorite actresses out there. So we went and saw it in the theater, and I walked out. Casey's like, that was great. I'm like, that was fucking terrible. Like, it was fucking horrid. But it's not. It's a really good movie at its core, in my opinion. But it's not for the faint of heart. Like, if you're a hopeless romantic, if you believe in storybook love, movie love, fate, all that shit, I wouldn't watch this movie. Like, it's not that. This isn't that. This is real. This shit hurts. So with that, it is a weird way to tell this love story, though, Alec, isn't it?
Oh, this gets me because so I like the way that they had this movie spaced out, right? You go like day 1, day 47, day 3, day 382.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. But the way they kind of pitched this, right? Or the way that it feels like is that you're going to go through their relationship of 500 days.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
The relationship's like a third of that. And then you deal with all the kind of backlog, the depression of, not being around and everything. So like the way the story was told, I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
But I think the story premise sucks. And half of that is because when JJ said 500 Days of Summer, I thought it was 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler. Like, that's what clicked in my mind. So I was like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go. And then this came on, and I think Oshi's made me watch this before, because she's a little bit like Casey in the sense that she likes these kind of real downer, realistic movies.
Yeah.
And she loves Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I don't like these downer, realistic movies because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Mm-hmm. That's kind of my attitude.
Yeah.
And so, like, this whole kind of love story that's not a love story, like, I hate that. And I don't get why people get kind of sucked into being on this, to use a How I Met Your Mother term, hook, being
Yeah.
on someone's hook. Because, like, dude, if someone doesn't want to be with you, it's not that they don't want to be with anybody, it's they don't want to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wake up and smell the lilacs and decomp. Like, straight up, they don't want to be with you. And so kind of having this hinging on it, like, I hate to break it to you, wake up, get a daily dose of reality. Because it's not going to work out. Yeah. They're looking for someone, and that someone is not you. So they're going to keep you around as entertainment until they don't need you anymore.
Yep.
And so at that point, my kind of attitude is like, bro, you did this to your fucking self. Like,
yep.
I can't be friends. Like, I couldn't be Goobler in this because his as your friend, I'm be like, why are you mad?
It's fair. It's fair. It's a good question.
And I think that kind of leads into like movie love bullshit.
Oh, dude. It's so bad. Like, and listen, if you're a hopeless romantic, fuck off. Okay. And I can say that because I used to be one.
Ooh.
Yeah, like seriously, when I was, it's so funny. So here's another story. When I was working for a credit card company, and I've worked for a couple, and this was the very first one I'd ever worked for. And I was a trainer. I was a new trainer, and I worked with this big bunch of rambunctious training group, and they were all women. Okay. And it was fun. We had a great time. And I was intermittently, like, I had met this girl. We were good friends, but we weren't dating. She was summer. Like, that's,
yeah.
It was this situation. Okay. Met her, and I'm like, dude, there's something about this girl. I really like her. And so I was chasing, you know what I mean? And I was trying to be smart about it. Right. But I was chasing. And I remember to this day, my boss, her name was Tammy. I had been chasing this girl. We'd gone on a couple of dates. We hung out a lot as friends, like gone to movies, hung out. Like, but we had started to like shift into where we weren't just going to get a cup of coffee because we wanted to hang out as friends. Like, there were other things happening, right? And things were morphing and shifting. And I was like fucking 100% in, right? And I have always, like, my dad was a hopeless romantic. One of my dad's best friends, still to this day, as a almost 70-year-old man, gives his wife a rose every morning. Still to this day. Has every single day that they've known each other, he's given her a rose every morning. That's the kind of shit that I grew up around, right? So, like, I believed in all that stuff. So I'm applying all of the principles of my helpless romantic self to this relationship.
Right.
And God, this is one of the reasons that this is probably like the fourth time I've watched this movie. And 3 of the 4, this is the first one I've watched it actively as a choice of my own versus Casey wanting to watch it. Because I watched it with her the first time. I was like, I'm not really into this type of movie. But I watched it and I left going, I don't like that movie at all. Because it made me look like a fucking moron when I was a teenager, or I was a young man, right? I was early 20s. So anyway, my boss tells me, she goes, look, you need to be careful. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, I'm just telling you, you need to be careful. I was like, how do you mean? She goes, because we like you. You're optimistic. You're kind of a hopeless romantic. You're fun. She goes, all of your teammates, the women in there in this little room. We had this little office where all 8 of us sat, and it was like a closet. We could close the door, and we were all locked in this one little room. And we would hang out in team meetings. She goes, all of your friends here have noticed that you're this way, you're that way, and we don't want you to become jaded because it's nice and there's a lot of hope around you. Well, I fucking told her, I was like, don't worry about it. They'll never get me. Fuck you. I'm jaded. I'm fucking grumpy, and this girl really fucked me up. And so like I watch this movie and it gives me some anxiety because I'm like, I don't feel good. Now I've recovered. I'm all good. I still have a little bit of a hopeless romantic in me, but I can't watch movies like this, or it reminds me of why I'm not quite as jade free as I used to be as a younger man, right? But I think most people go through something of some sorts that kind of makes them realize that love isn't all that it's portrayed to be. In fact, it's nothing like it.
No, love is hard work.
Fucking A, right. And it's a choice. That's the part that gets me. So when they talk about like even at
Love
the
at
end of this
first sight.
movie, yeah, the love at first sight and the like, it's bullshit. It's just not. There's infatuation at first sight. There's lust at first sight. There's intrigue at first sight, but there's not love. Love is a choice. Love is difficult. Love is work, like you said, and it's hard work, and it's the most difficult job, I think, besides maybe being a parent that's out there.
Yeah, because it's not consistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Your levels kind of go up and down. Like there's times I hate Oshi's guts.
Oh, for sure.
Just the way it is. She does some dumb shit, and I'm like, oh, why the fuck did you do that? But the next day,
Yeah.
it balances itself out because she does something amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this is like that uncomfortable because I hate people who are Zoe Deschanel's, character Summer.
Oh.
Hate them.
Yeah.
Because it's clearly a game.
Sure.
In some way, shape, or form. To be like, oh yeah, I don't want a boyfriend, I don't want a girlfriend, I'm just here for the, ride type of a thing, because it's that kind of manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
And what can I get out of this person? How can I, make them dance, monkey dance?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stand it because it's almost portrayed in, not necessarily this film, but in other films as being like, that's the way you should be.
Yeah. Sure.
And so this is, it's almost sad that this is the, on the indie market.
Yeah.
Because this is the kind of film you want people to watch and remember and learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't be Summer.
Yeah.
Don't be Tom either. But
I was just say, don't be Tom either. I was just saying, because like on the flip side of what you're saying, I agree with everything you said. People that are like Summer, like just hearing her say to him, like, well, I just want to be friends. And I want, nothing serious, casual. Those are like, just so you know, people, men, women, I don't care. If someone says that to you when you're professing that you want to go out with them, you want to try something with them, fucking run away.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to end well.
Everybody wants something serious. They just don't want serious with you.
Correct. You're a placeholder
Yeah.
until you go to the coffee shop and the guy that you feel something, you know what I mean? And like that question at the end when Tom's like, well, what was different? Or, what is it about? And the assurity that I had that you never gave me. I'm like, well, fuck you then. You know what I mean? Like you weren't prepared for it then. And that's a whole different conversation, I think. But I don't like Tom either. Like people like Tom because that whole belief in love being something that it isn't, that there's like a soulmate and fate's going to step in. And I don't believe in any of that shit anymore. I used to, right? Listen, people, and I'll probably piss some people off with this one. There is not one person in the world for you that it can work. Look, you may end up with one person, and that's great. Congratulations. But that does not mean that you could not have made it work with anybody else. And if you live in that, you're delusional. Because I've always had a theory. My favorite theory of after I became a little jaded, right? After this girl rocked my world.
And not in a good way.
Not in a good way. I mean, she did in a good way too, but not. I'm talking about the most recent broke is that it was, it was bad way. So I developed a theory, and that is, look, when it comes to things like things of the heart, right, and love and all that, men are fucking stupid. Okay, we're all fucking dumb. And if you think you're not, wake up, fucker. You're dumb when it comes to matters of the heart and relationships and emotions. We're stupid. We don't get clues. We don't fucking understand goddamn hints. We're stupid. And I use this next word in relation in describing women carefully, and please do not misunderstand the word, but all women are fucking
added.
I'm probably going to get added, and that's okay. I'll explain myself, but all women are crazy. Okay. And I'm not talking about clinically crazy. I'm not talking about because men don't see hints because we're stupid. Women think that we see hints. That old adage of continue to do the same shit and expect a different result. If you keep dropping subtle hints and expect your guy to get it, you're fucking crazy. It's not going to happen. It's the definition of insanity. You're going to have to pound them over the head with a baseball bat if you want them to understand something that you're trying to tell them that's subtle. It's not going to work. Now, all men are stupid, all women are crazy. The key to love, in my opinion, with those two things in mind is you need to find someone where your stupid matches their crazy and vice versa. Okay. How much cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is your dumbass willing to put up with? And how much of I'm stupid is your psychotic ass willing to put up with? Once you're able to do that, and how much of it do you find cute, right? Like Casey's got a next level of crazy sometimes, but I think there's a level of it to me that's endearing. And sometimes we're fine doing our crazy and stupid shit in public. Like, we don't care. I've had friends be like, dude, you are a saint. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, I enjoy that shit. I was like, I find it endearing, her cuckoo. And she hates my stupidity. But when I bounce back from the stupidity, she loves all the fucking really smart shit that I do. Right. So you have to find a balance. And I'm sure you can relate.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's like that, because Oshi will has a list of all the hints she dropped, and I'm like, bro, I don't even remember the first time we met. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't remember what happened. I don't, recall everything around us. I was like, fuck, I don't remember any of this. Oh yeah, I touched your arm at this time. I was like, what the fuck? I touch people all the time, and most of the time it's like, hey, tap. Can you do this? Or, hey, push, move out of my way. It's like, I don't put in, there's no hidden meaning behind it. She's like, yes, there is. And I was like, no, there's not.
Not for us.
So, yeah, she goes deep in all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I like that crazy versus stupid and figure out that balance, because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because there's times where I'm like, I can't deal with you right now. What is wrong with you? And it tends to be because I'm pretty mellow, right, as a person and individual. She's not.
Yeah.
And so, there's points where it's like, okay, I can't deal with you right now. I cannot deal with you and your craziness. And she can't deal with the fact that she's like, I dropped so many hints about this. You have to write it out in big block letters so I can see it.
Yeah, here's a tip, women. If you say to a man, the garbage is really full, we do not hear you need to take the garbage out.
We're gonna agree with you that the garbage
it's really full, kind of stinks too. Somebody should take that shit out.
and we're not playing games, because I've dealt with girls who think that it's like a game. It's like, no.
Nah, we're just that dumb. That's what I'm saying. And look, my least favorite question from a woman to a man is, what you thinking? You don't want to know. Because it's not what you think. There's nothing deep here.
It's nothing that's happening.
Nah.
There's nothing going on.
What you
thinking? I get that from Oshi. I get that. What are you thinking about? Nothing. You're not thinking about anything? No, tell me. There's nothing there.
Yeah. And they're so adamant about that. You want to know what I was thinking? I was thinking, how do I build a conveyor belt from the fridge to the couch? What would that cost me? What's that look like? There's nothing smart going. What were you thinking? I was trying to figure out how to make beer squirt out of my windshield wiper. That's what I'm trying to fucking figure out. That's my thoughts. So stop asking, and don't think that, like I said, if you ask a question that you think will lead to me being smart enough to figure out that there's something behind that question that you want to happen, wrong.
Yeah, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, we're not going to catch on to that.
Yeah, the nice thing though, so I've been with Oshi long enough to kind of pick up on some stuff that's happening, and so I prepared responses that I don't want to be mean and say shut her up, but kind of do that correction a little bit, because I don't know, you guys probably have a radio station there in Utah that does it, where they do that caught cheating kind of bit.
Oh yeah.
Or something like that, where it's you call someone, ask them where they want to send a bouquet of flowers. So she's like, well, what would you say? 100%, it's my buddy Nick at work. I was like, if anybody's one, because that'd be hilarious.
Sure.
And we have that kind of relationship where it'd be funny.
Yeah.
Two, it gets her thinking like, oh yeah, there's no time to cheat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like if anybody ever calls and says, hey, where you want flowers sent? I was like, I'm not sending them to a girl. I'm not
Yeah.
sending them to you. I'm sending them to Nick. Now shut up and eat your sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. No, yeah. Like there's you figure each other out. That's part of real love. Is like you start to figure out like those little nuances. And like now she'll say something and I make a joke. She's like, man, the garbage is looking really full. And I'll be like, yeah, you should take it out. She'll be like, what? Well, like, just saying, if it's full, take it out.
Isn't that what you were insinuating? That the garbage needs to be taken?
Yeah. Then she'll look at me like all pissed off and be like, will you take the garbage out, please? Yeah, that's all you had to do.
Yeah.
It's all you had to fucking do.
Be direct.
Yeah. Just fucking tell us what we're trainable. You just gotta tell us what to do. Good.
That's the thing.
Anyway.
Just say what you need, because that's another thing. It's like, just tell me what you want.
Yeah.
Well, I did. No, you didn't.
I want you to know I want you to know what I want. Fuck off. I don't even know what the fuck I want. Like,
exactly.
I told you there's nothing smart going on up here. Stop. Yeah, you stop it. Just stop it. So, and it's not her fault. It's mine. I get that. But you can't expect intelligence where none exists. Like it's just and when it comes to love and that inner working, the men are from Mars, women are from Venus bullshit. Like I don't love that theory, but it's not untrue either, because we don't get it. Like, and we just don't think that level of trying to, I can't read your mind. So why am I going to try? Like, just tell me what you want.
And it's Hollywood's fault for saying that we can.
Fucking hell. Fucking assholes. That's why movie love is bullshit, because it just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Not in that format anyway. True love's great, but it's fucking hard and it takes work and it's a choice. It doesn't just happen. That's why marriages fail every other day, because they don't
unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's going to be perfect and we're always going to be happy. No, fucker. You're going to want to punch somebody in the face 9 times out of 10. But it's being able to go, yeah, but I still really kind of like hanging out with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Tomorrow it'll be fine.
Yeah, I want to suplex your face right now, but
yeah.
It's kind of cute.
Yeah, I want to suplex you, but it's out of love. It's the suplex of love. And then you can kick me in the balls and we'll be even. You know what I mean? And tomorrow we'll laugh about it. But that's they just have this expectation of seeing what we don't get to see in the movies, because it always ends in the perfect moment, right? Oh, it's so cute. They're back together. But no. And I think that's one of the things that I like about this movie is when I get down to it, we see all the good, the bad, the ugly. And then what we see is that moment when the little sister, played by Chloe Grace Moretz, who I love that the little sister is his advisor.
Right.
Especially like the part of the saga, he's like, Coach, we're not done yet. I'm like, what the fuck? She's like 12. Anyway, I love that moment where she's like, you need to think back on it and see it for what it was. And then he sees both the happy and the not happy, and it's not through rose-colored glasses. But on the flip side, we have that moment where he's like, I hate her fucking laugh. I hate the fucking roach-looking birthmark. That flip from the first one that he talks about all those same things. So then it's just through those dark and foggy glasses, and then you see that. So you've seen now all three. Like we talk about, there's 3 sides to every story. There's the 1, 2, and then the middle, which is the truth. But that happy and not happy is the true thing. He sees her smile. He loves it. He sees that she avoided holding his hand in the record store, even though he felt like that was a great moment for them, like through the rose-colored glasses. That's probably my favorite moment in this movie, because it shows some semblance of real reality, not the oh shit, we're in love, not the fucking I hate her because she broke my heart, but none of it was perfect. There were great moments and there were not great moments. And it's choosing to see that there were a little bit of both and still trying to figure out how to make it work that actually makes a relationship work. You're never going to make a relationship work if you're on either side of the major spectrum. You have to be somewhere in the middle, in my opinion, or my experience. How about that?
I get.
Yeah. But I do have to ask, like, fuck is wrong with indie film creators? Like,
right. Who hurt you guys?
Yeah.
Like this is number 4 that we've done, right? 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4. Yeah, and who hurt you guys?
Yeah.
And I think it kind of goes a little bit to indie films being more honest,
It's fair.
right? You don't have a big budget, you don't have really profit goals. You're one who's telling a story. The easiest way to tell a story is one that you've personally gone through.
Yeah.
And now you're just using film as your medium,
Yeah.
right? Instead of verbal or whatever. But holy shit, you guys have a lot of shit packed away, indie filmmakers.
Yeah, y'all need some help. Like, and I realize this is probably part of your therapy, so good for you, but fuck, you're fucking hurting the rest of us. Like,
Yeah. Like, stop it.
like, I've had a great month of August, but it's been kind of depressing watching
Yeah.
these fucking movies. Like, Jesus.
Misery Loves Company. Leave me out of it.
Yeah,
I don't
no
want
shit.
it.
I was sitting there thinking I got to put the topics up on Patreon soon for October, and I'm like, I got to pick like great soundtracks or something for them to choose those movies, because there's some happy movies in there, and I need some fucking happy, because
Yeah.
God, these 4 movies we watched for September, not so much.
No. Like, they've all been good.
Oh, great
relatively
movies.
speaking.
Yeah.
But what the heck, guys? Like, what happened to telling the fun stories about like your 5th birthday party or some shit?
No shit. Well, and then I started thinking too recently about like what maybe I should have picked some different indie movies, because I have a lot of indie movies that I like to watch, and then I started thinking about them, and I'm like, they're all a little fucked up. Like, no matter how
Yeah,
good
it's
they
like,
are.
are we really the problem in our
Yeah.
picks? I mean, partially, yes.
Sure.
But at the same time, was there anything out there better? So, I mean, I don't know, comment contest.
Yeah.
What's your favorite indie movie that isn't fucking depressing?
Yeah, I'd love to watch some, because I don't know that I have any on my list that don't hurt you in some way.
Yeah, they're all kind of that depressing, melodramatic kind of feel to it. And I mean, I guess that does make for better filming, maybe, but stop it.
Yeah.
I watch movies to be happy.
there is one. No, it's kind of rough too. So there's one recently that we found on accident called 2-Night Stand instead of 1-Night Stand. I won't give anything away. It's funny, and I think that's why I like it, because it's hilarious, but it's dark hilarious. Like, it still has its moments, but I think it's of all of my indie films that I do like, I think that's the least hurtful one, but it does have some hurtful moments. Anyway, yeah, fucking indie filmmakers, you guys need help. Call someone if you need, like, Jesus.
Call Goobler.
Yeah. I do want to talk about the cinematography. So I have a couple of favorite scenes, and the things that I like about this movie a lot. I already talked about the one where you get to see the 3 different perspectives throughout the movie. The other one that I love, and probably my second favorite part of this whole film, is the party scene, where it's the expectations versus reality. And I think it sums up kind of what we've talked about when it comes to relationships, like, so well, because you get to see his expectations after the train ride and the wedding are, we're going to get back together, right? And then the reality of it is somebody put baby in the corner, because fuck, like, and I've watched it, and I think while I love that comparison where you're watching them both together in that split screen, and then it shifts over and takes out the expectation, the expectation side, because that's not reality, when he realizes she's got on an engagement ring. And this is pretty much her engagement party. I was like, well, that's fucked up that she invited him to her engagement party.
Oh, yeah.
Super fucked up. But he didn't catch. Again, men are stupid. She says, we're having a get together. Our building has a rooftop. I'm like, listen, fucker, she's telling you that it's not her building. It's not her rooftop. It's ours. She's being
proof that men are stupid. I didn't get that.
Really? It took me 2 times to get it, and a little bit of an explanation from Casey, because I was like, why would you go to that party? And she's like, well, I don't know, because she did tell him. And I'm like, no, she didn't.
No.
She's like, she said our. And I was like, See, that's what's wrong with you fucking people is you think he caught that. He
I
heard
didn't catch that.
and he thought mine and yours. That's what he thought. Because he's stupid. All he sees is your lips and your boobs, and he's thinking about hugging and kissing on you on our rooftop. He
Yeah.
didn't fucking hear ours because it's yours and some other dudes. That's not what he heard because we're stupid. And you fuckers are crazy because you think he heard that shit right. Nope. He did not. But yeah, I love that scene though.
Yeah, that's a good one. I not gonna have to go watch it again just to make sure.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Watch that train scene when she invites him. It hurt. Or the wedding scene when she invites him. It hurts.
Like my fiance and I. What's wrong with that? Why can't you do that?
Right? Just rip it out right there. Like tear his heart out right there. Just get it over with. It'll hurt more because you just had a great time at that wedding. But just get it done. Just figure it out.
Or better yet, don't invite him.
That probably a good call too. Yeah, I mean, just let that shit go. Because that's another thing that I think all people, men and women, get wrong is that a relationship that is that intense and has happened for that long, like that you can remain friends. Like I know there's a couple people that have said that they've remained friends. And to a certain degree, there's some truth there, I'm sure. But the problem is there's always the elephant in the room that is all you have to do is look at them twice and throw a head nod to the bedroom and you guys are going to go fuck, which immediately eliminates a true friendship. Dude, I love you. You're awesome. You look at me funny and head nod. I'm not going to go fuck. That there's boundaries with friendship. Those boundaries get crossed in certain types of friendship.
I mean, how much?
Fair. $20 is $20. That's different though. It's different. That doesn't cross any lines. You need some help. I need some help. We'll figure that shit out.
It's a business arrangement.
Exactly. It's completely entirely separate from our friendship.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a good point. I think that in order to stay that friends, you have to both be fully committed to somebody else.
Correct.
Because I mean, like, you know, at this point she's just building her bench, right? To have, you know, lined up people. And if that's, I mean, it's better to do a clean break, I think. Find someone, make sure you both find someone, then you go back and be friends.
Yeah.
And I think that can work. That whole let's stay friends. No, you're building a bench.
Yeah.
Because it's like leaving that door cracked, right? Instead of closing the door, it's
you're adding to your booty call list.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to feel better about my life list.
Yeah, and so then that prevents the other person from actually going out and caring about themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's
always
one of those
level
things.
of wonder.
Yeah, wonder. Like,
on one
well,
side or the
maybe.
Other. Yep. Got to keep them on the hook.
Yeah. So it's that friends thing. I think has to be. There's got to be a break first, where there's no contact, and then you can come back together and be friends.
Yeah. Like I think after Tom meets Autumn, and maybe if 500 Days of Autumn ends differently than 500 Days of Summer, then I think Summer and Tom could have some conversations and communication together, right? Be some level of friends. I agree with you. Now, there's a whole another level of issues that can come along with that. You better have a very confident, very secure partner in your relationship, because that can create some issues where, oh, you're still friends with an ex. Okay, I understand they're married, but there's an instant level of distrust there that can come. Not saying it will, but there's a whole another level of complexity to that friendship. But if you have a very secure relationship, I think you're right. I think that lends itself to, and I have a buddy that his ex and her husband are best friends, both of them, with him and his wife now. Like they're great friends. I'm sure they don't talk about certain aspects of their lives, but yeah, I mean, it's a different dynamic once you're in a relationship. So I think it's a great point. But I've tried to do the friends after relationship thing. It just doesn't, there's just a level of weird that you just can't get past because And you're right. Like if I'm single and she starts dating someone, or vice versa, there's like a, ooh, I don't like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. It's a good
There's
point.
always that level of competition.
Yeah.
Back down to basic biology.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's rough. There was some other cinematography things that I liked about this film. Like I liked the idea of when they're like when you were talking about they bounce from like day 40 to day 320. Like I love the shades of summer. Like in the great, it's like that little artwork that they show every time with the trees and stuff and the sun's up. Like it's either really bright and sunny and the leaves are great, or you're about to watch a really hard scene to watch because the trees are dying and there's no sunlight or it's cloudy and the leaves are falling out. You're like, fuck, this is such great, because it prepares you, right? Because it's not comfortable to watch some of these scenes. You're like, oh, I'm going to get to watch a dark scene. And I like the juxtaposition, how there's never a good day followed by another good day.
Yeah.
It was that every relationship has good and bad days. And sometimes to Tom, to their point they're making, it might have seemed like a good day, but I knew they were trying to show that this actually wasn't a good day because what we saw beforehand. So in that artwork. So I really love the way that they played that part of it. I just think the way that they laid out most of their scenes was really cool in this movie. It's one of my favorite parts of this movie is the way that they laid them out.
Completely agree. They did a great job kind of pulling it all together and making it work. It was just one of those things where the content was so heavy and depressing that it makes you hate them for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it works from the story that they were trying to tell. They did a really good job.
Sure. Absolutely. And I think part of the reason that it did work so well is the cast in this is
outstanding,
quite good. I mean, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel just rock it throughout this movie. Like they have such a believable relationship and dynamic, and I love too that they play it the same way the whole time. Like a lot of times the things that I have a hard time with some of these love movies, like the movies about love, is you watch a fundamental change happen in one or another character, and that's not true to life. Like we are who we are, and you can change certain aspects. Like I've learned to catch little hints about taking out the garbage when she tells me it's full. Like I'm with this woman for 20 years. I understand some of her subtle hints. I still miss a lot of them. Some of them after 20 years, I figured it out. But that's such a subtle change, and it's taken a lot of arguments and a lot of conversations and a lot of time. And when we watch these movies in 2 hours, they go through this full cycle of what takes most people decades to figure out about each other. What I like about this one is there was never that dynamic of change. Tom was always this put too much expectation and hope on this relationship. And Zooey Deschanel's character, Summer, there was never a doubt in my mind, even the first time I watched it, that these two were not going to end up together in the end, because she was never as committed to the relationship as Tom was. There was never the same kind of love that Summer felt that Tom felt. I'm not questioning that she didn't love him, just questioning that it wasn't on the same level. And I fully believe that all relationships have some levels of imbalance at any given time, right? I can tell you right now, there's been times where my love for Casey was very different and at a deeper level than hers for me, and vice versa, right? But you have to be able to roll with those punches. And that's what I think these actors brought, especially those two, to this table, of being able to go through that shift of, and even when everything looks happy, seeing Zooey Deschanel give this subtle little performance where you're like, if you pay enough attention to her character, you can see that she's not as into it as Tom is and what he thinks that she is. So I kudos to those two especially, but the whole cast is great.
Oh yeah.
So
hands down.
yeah.
Without them, this movie takes on a really different view.
Sure. Well, and I think the other thing that was important about those two is they're both likable people. Like they have those faces that you're just like, oh, this is a nice person. You know what I mean? Like and they both have like that almost innocent look to them as well. Like you don't look at them and think these are some shitty human beings. I think like if you put Brad Pitt in this character as Tom, it
Jennifer
doesn't
Aniston.
Yeah, exactly. Put those because there's a level of you're too much, right? There's no way you were that innocent about life, and that's not to say that they're not. It's just that look, right, wrong, or indifferent, can make us go, mm-mm, and they wouldn't have been right for the character. So kudos to the casting director too, because those two were perfect, and they acted the shit out of it. So I like it. All right, should we rate this thing?
Let's do it.
All right, buddy, you're first.
My movie, I gotta go first. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see.
No, wait. It's my movie. You got to go first.
That's why I said I'm going first.
Oh, that's right. I thought you said it was your movie. I'm like, you didn't pick this movie. You made me watch THX, and
I might have said that trying to get out of it, but I'll never confess or not. The recording will tell. Anyways, this is hard.
Yeah.
And it's been the same way this entire goddamn month because all the movies we watch have been phenomenal, except not.
Yeah.
They're great and they're terrible at the same exact time because they're hard to watch. They're difficult to get through, which, you know, for me anyway, that means it's a bad movie because movie is supposed to be entertainment. And if it's a chore to get through, it's not really that entertaining, in my opinion. Now, different strokes for different folks. I get it. Some people will look at this and be like, oh my gosh, that was riveting. Nothing against you. You're wrong, but you're okay. But at the same time, these 4 films that we've done have been from storytelling some of the better movies we've done recently. Now it's very niche storytelling, telling a specific, experience or summer, kind of period of time. So, I mean, that's really good. And as you can tell, I'm really scrambling for what I'm going to say about this rating because it's hard. Because at the end of the day, I didn't like this movie.
Yeah. Didn't
like it. I think I watched it before, but like I said at the beginning, I didn't even know what movie this was. I confused it with a completely different film.
Yeah.
So it did not like it, but it was good. And that's the conundrum. So I think I'm gonna go safe. Don't come after me. 3.5. Good movie. Good way to tell the story. I think that it came and it did what it was supposed to do. It just, the package it was wrapped in was dog shit. And it took too long to kind of get there, or it played too much to its subtleties to really make it enjoyable for me. But it doesn't change the fact that it's a good movie. Yeah. If you go to watch this, you have got to be prepared.
Yes.
For hints, subtle ones apparently throughout the entire film. Because apparently they're there. I didn't pick up on a single one of them, so that's fine. Whatever. But it might explain why Oshi really likes this movie. To be honest, 3.5. I'm not watching it again.
I love it,
at least of my own free will. But yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I'm with you. Look, if I didn't have Casey, who's very willing to make me rewatch movies I don't want to watch again, because we saw it in the theater, and I was like, I will never watch that movie again. I was wrong. I haven't watched it a lot because I do protest when she starts to pull some of the movies like this up, but I do like this movie, and I completely agree with your assessment. I like this movie from a filmmaking perspective and a storytelling perspective. I hate this movie from an entertainment perspective because I'm not entertained. I feel like I'm watching bits of my life played back with me from a much more attractive gentleman. Like, it's just uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And I don't like to revisit some of those feelings but I love like the way that the story's told. I love the cinematography. I love the acting. I love the reality of this movie and the fact that it doesn't shy away from, as humans, we put way too much expectation and weight on early goings of a relationship because we want to get to what we've been force-fed from an entertainment, from Hollywood, from stories and books that say that love is perfect and it's easy and everyone has a soulmate that they're meant to be with, and it's just entirely untrue. And this movie shows why. It's because we're not always ready for that when we meet a person. One person might be, the other person isn't. And it's not the only physiological part of it is your hormones and your desire to get your dick wet if you're a guy, and to be whatever. I can't speak for women and their needs for a relationship, but that's the only biological piece of love. True love is difficult, and it's a choice, and it's an emotional roller coaster, and it's a battering, and it's you making mistakes and doing things that batter your partner, and then having to realize that you did that and you're in the wrong, and being able to accept that and apologize and move forward. That's real relationship. And there's a lot of biological and physiological things that happen because of those things, but none of those biological, physiological things are love. Love is the same fucking physiological reaction as eating a bar of chocolate or drinking an energy drink. It's the same shit. If you want love, that love, go fucking have a rock star and move on with your life. Go eat a fucking Mars bar and get on with your life. If you want love, be prepared for the difficult parts of this movie and how you're going to work with someone to get through it, because that's what true love is. However, I way digress there to say that I like that they don't shy away from it in this movie, and I like the way they tell a story, and I think the narrator is really funny that they have that. This is not, and they tell you right out the gate, this is not a love story. This is not a happy story. But I think there's a lot to be learned from it if you pay attention to the subtle hints. You can start to realize, ooh, I know why he's in trouble, because he didn't catch this, right? Like, rewind it, pay attention to it. I'm stalling too because I don't want to rate this movie what I'm about to give it, but I'm going to give it a 4. I think it's a great movie from an artistic and storytelling perspective. Again, to Alec's point, if you're looking for entertainment, though, it's probably not it, unless you're entertained by people miserable doing shitty things to each other. Yeah, and then who hurt you? And you should call an indie filmmaker, because maybe you have a story to tell. I don't know. So with that, yeah, Alec, tell everybody where they can find us when we're not getting our hearts crushed.
Okay. Thank you for tuning into our review of 500 Days of Summer. This is a downer of a movie. Not quite as depressing to talk about, apparently, as I thought it was going to be, but it's a depressing watch. So if you've made it to this point of the video, leave us a like or a comment, as it lets us know that you enjoy downer content, so we can then block your ass. September is in full swing, and indie month over. Excited for it. So no more indie month bonanza. Special thanks to our patron Beta Ray Bill for picking indie films. And we are going to be sticking to the themed month, guys. So if you want to get in on the selections, Patreon is the place to do so. You can vote on selections, then movies within those selections. It's a great thing. With that, I will send it back to the mauling Macedon, the Sultan of Swat, JJ.
Yeah. And since it is the last week of September that you're listening to us, let's go ahead and announce what October is going to be. And that is, well, you know what? I'm not going to announce it, because at this point in recording, I'm still debating whether we go with the next topic or if we add a secret topic that Alec will hate me for. So,
oh no,
because it is October, my friend.
Fucking secret topic this is. Son of a bitch.
It is October. It is October.
Secret, you're like, Alec's gonna hate
it. So we'll see what happens. If I decide not to go with what I want to go with, it'll be movies with great soundtracks. If I do go,
let's do that.
It'll be a more Halloween themed type movie. Charles, since you're a functioning patron, why don't you
a functioning patron?
Meaning,
as opposed to all our dysfunctional patrons.
Exactly. Meaning you keep this podcast up and running functionally. So, tell us, give us a hint. Should we go with Halloween theme or should we go with the next topic? It is the end of September, so it's too long. Let's just never mind. I'll reach out to you later. Welcome to time travel. All right, ladies and germs. Yeah, no. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Cinematography.
Whoa!